Hello, this is Mike from Cornerbull Software again. This is part 3 of how to centrally manage Syslog devices with Cornerbull Server Manager. In this video, I'm going to show you how to generate Syslog Audit Reports from Syslog messages that have been saved to Cornerbull's Centralized Syslog database. In the previous video, I showed you how to save Syslog messages to the log database. The saved messages were test syslog messages which didn't provide any real data other than a rolling number for automated development tests. For this video, I've gone ahead and forwarded an Azure-based Red Hat server's audit log to my development machine. I'm going to diverge for a moment to let you know how I did this with Cornerbull. I installed the Cornerbull management server to my test Red Hat VM, started it up, and then from my development machine, connected. Then I configured a text log monitor to forward all log entries generated in the VM's var-log audit.log file, which houses logon events among other events. Okay, so before we create a report, we need to generate the column definitions for the attribute value pairs we want to extract, for example, the type of message. Okay, let's get started. From the Explorer view, expand the root host node, then find your target server. In the last video, I had added my devices to a group called My New Group. My new RHEL server was automatically placed in the Linux Audit Devices group thanks to the Cornerbull agent being installed for other testing purposes. Once you find your target device, expand Templates, then Syslog Consolidation to find the Syslog node. Right-click, then select View. Make sure you've not set any filters, then click OK. Notice the RFC 5424 values are blank and the message is instead an attribute value pair formatted message. I want this view to load specific attribute value pairs that reside in the audit log entries. For example, the type, the time, the host name, the IP, and the status. Just like on Windows, not all entries contain these values. To extract these values and place them in a view, I'm going to create a report, then define the columns using regular expressions. To create the report, select File, New, expand Report, expand Log Consolidation Reports, then select Syslog Report. Assign the target host to the report, click Save, then view the report. We see a paged report that looks identical to the Syslog Consolidation Viewer with one exception. The RFC columns are not present. That's because these messages are not RFC 5424 compliant. Unlike the Consolidated Log Viewer, the Report Viewer will drop any column header when none of the entries contain data for a configured column. Next, we want to define our regular expressions to extract the values of interest. I've already created the regex within the sample Red Hat Audit Log Consolidation agent template, which can be found in the sample templates. Each column has a regular expression associated with it. The target account name has multiple. Just like CSS, the last assigned regular expression always wins. Rather than typing all these columns into my report, I'm going to simply copy the columns, then paste them to the report. To copy the columns from the text log consolidation template, I'm going to multi-select the rows, then press Ctrl-C or right-click and select Copy. Back in the report, right-click anywhere within the column definitions table, then select Paste. Next, we can remove any columns we're not interested in. Since I'm overriding the level image and priority with my own columns, I'm going to remove both of those. The date is contained within the message, so I'm going to remove the date as well. I'm going to remove the RFC 5424 columns, then lastly, I need to move the message column to the end so it's displayed in the message view. Otherwise, it will be displayed in its own column within the data table. Now, I need to copy the regular expressions. To expose the paste command, I need to create a placeholder. Once created, right-click, then select Paste. Once pasted, I can remove the placeholder. The level image, level, and host keys are all reserved. For a Syslog report, the priority image is associated with the level image key, and the priority string is associated with the level key. Since I'm forwarding messages from the audit log, the priority is always info, which is not what I'd like to see. These columns must be renamed. The host value is always the name or IP of the host that sent the message, unless you have another syslogger relaying messages, in which case the host displays the original host name or IP. Since we're actually interested in the host a user is logging in from, we need to rename this column as well. Once I have renamed those column keys and updated their corresponding regular expressions, I can save the report and display the results. We can see the parsed columns, as well as the full message in the message view. Now that we have the view displaying properly, next let's create a filter for one of the column values. For example, type. Once you've found your target entry, right-click, then select Filter Selected Entries. Keep all the default values, then specify a name for your filter. For example, my Red Hat Enterprise Linux Success Logons. Notice all of the columns have been added to the filter, including the facility and priority, which we removed. I'm going to narrow this down to just a few columns, then save the filter. Once I refresh the report, we can see the success logon entries. Once you get your filter working properly, you can assign the filter to the report. And we can see the results are the same. To configure this report to be sent through email, go back into the report, then assign an email action to the onCompleted list of actions. Once complete, you'll see the email result. Notice this email has 26 entries, whereas our report earlier had about half a dozen. The viewer displays the data in pages, while the report contains all of the entries for the entire configured date range. That's Syslog reporting with Corner Bowl Server Manager.